Because the reality is, sometimes, in order to pursue your next ambition or to realign to your goals, you have to make some room in your life. We can be really good at filling up our time and lives with things that we often forget why we started doing them in the first place. Maybe we didn't know a better way at the time. Maybe we felt like we had to do it for one reason or another. Maybe we're worried about what others will think if we do or don't do it. Whatever led us to where we are, there's nothing wrong with taking another look at everything we're doing and the direction that's leading us in. Then we can decide if doing it differently makes more sense, if that change would better serve us and help us get from where we are now to where we want to be. Hi there, friend, and welcome to the Design Your Happiness podcast, where we work to live, not live to work, and the financial gains and well-earned free time of the lives and careers or business we've designed have taken the place of those late work nights, stressful, all too short weekends, and feelings of just getting by. I'm Rebecca Hayes, a corporate girl who recently decided to branch into entrepreneurship because what I really enjoy is helping others define their own path. And for me, that comes at the intersection of the life you want, the career or business you enjoy, and the money to make it possible. And that's where Design Your Happiness comes in. So let's work together to reclaim your finances, reimagine your life and career or business, and redesign your happiness so you have the confidence, energy, and concrete strategies to build the life of your dreams. Are you in? Okay, so today we're diving into how to buy back your time. Because let's face it, in this busy world, we need all the help we can get. So, we'll be talking about why we need to buy back our time, when it's time to pull the trigger and outsource those tasks, and even some ideas of what you could outsource to free yourself up to do other things. So, let's go ahead and get into it. I hear all the time people saying, I'm so busy, I couldn't possibly take on another thing. Or, I work all the time and it still feels like my to-do list only gets longer. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Sometimes we're doing too much. We've said yes to too many things, and obviously we can't drop them now. Read your mind, didn't I? Sometimes we even are trying to do it all ourselves, which is actually what we're going to be talking about today. Because we don't have to do it all ourselves. Yes, there are some things that just have to get done, but it doesn't mean you have to be the one doing them, does it? We all only have so much time and money, so we have to figure out how we're going to use the resources we have to go after what we really want. Generally speaking, you can either spend your time or spend your money to get something done. And sometimes it takes a little of both. Let me give you an example. Say it takes you 2 hours once a week to clean your house. Now, you can either spend the 2 hours cleaning your house every week, or you can take a look at your budget and see if you can afford to pay someone else to clean your house while you take those 2 hours and do something else with that time. I know, that makes it sound really simple. And the truth is, it is. But there are a few other things to consider when deciding whether to outsource your life and even what pieces it makes sense or what pieces make the most sense to outsource. Probably the most obvious thing to consider is whether or not you can actually afford it. We don't want to blow out our budgets outsourcing things that we theoretically could do ourselves. But we do want to look for the best use of our time and energy and money. So, before you start deciding on what to outsource, take a look at your spending and see what budget you could potentially set aside for outsourcing. I should also mention that you don't always have to pay for things you're outsourcing with money. Perhaps you could make it an even trade, bring back that barter culture. There might be something that you're really good at or don't mind doing, and you know someone like a friend or a neighbor, or maybe you find someone who is really good at something else that you need. And instead of paying each other, you trade services. That could be a good way to benefit both of you, even if you happen to have a lower budget and aren't able to pay to outsource. But once you have an idea of what you could spend in money or offer otherwise, then we can get into what might be good tasks in your life to outsource. I would start by making a list of the tasks you, one, don't like doing or that stress you out to do. Second, tasks that you know other people already have businesses built around doing. And third, that you're not qualified, capable, or comfortable doing. Because some things you just have to pay others to do. And uncoincidentally, these are probably the tasks you are most comfortable already outsourcing, whether or not you think of it as outsourcing. So, we're going to work on adopting a similar mindset to tasks we could outsource but don't necessarily have to. Deal? Because the reality is sometimes, in order to pursue your next ambition or to realign to your goals, you have to make some room in your life. We can be really good at filling up our time and lives with things that we often forget why we started doing them in the first place. Maybe we didn't know a better way at the time. Maybe we felt like we had to do it for one reason or another. Maybe we're worried about what others will think if we do or don't do it. Whatever led us to where we are, there's nothing wrong with taking another look at everything we're doing and the direction that's leading us in. Then we can decide if doing it differently makes more sense, if that change would better serve us and help us get from where we are now to where we want to be. Basically, sometimes you have to drop or give up something in order to create space for something else. As I said before, we each only have so much time and energy to give, and we have to decide how we're going to use that time and energy to do the things we need or want to do. And that's where deciding whether and what tasks to outsource can be a great way to gain more time and energy. So let's talk about a few ways you could start to outsource if you really wanted to. We've already talked about cleaning your house, but are there other chores or household related tasks that you could pay someone else to do so you could take back that time and energy? One thing that comes to mind is if summer is a busy season for you or your business or career, then you might look into hiring someone to do your yard work. Or maybe you don't really enjoy doing it. And so you spend way more time and energy stressing and worrying and procrastinating the yard work than it would take to just do it. So by outsourcing it, you're regaining the time and energy it actually takes to do the work, plus all the time and energy, basically the brain space, that you would have spent worrying about getting it done. And all it really costs you is the payment you're making to the person who is doing the work. I'm sure you can think of plenty of tasks like this that you wouldn't mind outsourcing if you knew you could afford it, right? And so that brings us back to that list. So take some time to jot down some tasks that you, one, don't like doing or that stress you out to do. Two, know other people already have businesses built around. And third, that you're not qualified, capable, or comfortable doing. And that gives you a great starting point. Then, when you're ready, we can start to decide what to outsource. So, when looking at outsourcing anything versus doing it ourselves, we have to decide if what we're gaining is better or more beneficial than if we just did it ourselves. So, a lot of that comes down to how we would spend the time and energy we're gaining. And does that outweigh what we're paying for it? And if it does, then go ahead and outsource it. And take that gained time and energy, thank you very much, and put it to good use going after the things that only you can do for yourself or your career or business. So, as we head into this new season, set aside some time to make a list of the things that you could outsource. Again, the things that you don't want to do, don't like to do, or aren't very good at doing. And then take a look at your money and set a budget for what you could spend to buy back your time. And don't forget, you can trade if you can find someone who can do what you need and also benefits from something you can offer instead. Then you don't just have to spend dollars on your outsourcing. You can trade. And last, you need to prioritize what you need to outsource most, in line with what you can afford. Your prioritizing can be based on the time or energy it would take you to do it yourself. So the things that take you longer may be a higher priority to outsource because you'll get more time back. Or maybe it's based on the skills needed. So if something is more technical or would take you more time to learn how to do it and do it well than just paying someone else to do it, it may be worth prioritizing and outsourcing. But feel free to personalize your approach to think about what you really need and where you're going to get the most benefit, and then go ahead and find someone to do it for you. But I do want to remind you again to take advantage of that gain time. We're buying it back so we can do the things that matter most to us, our lives and careers or businesses. The things that only we can do for ourselves. So take some time, write the list, look at your budget, and prioritize what you're going to outsource, and then make it happen. And that's all I have for today. So until next time, keep designing your happiness. Hey there, friend. We've made it to the end of another Design Your Happiness episode. And if you're loving what you're hearing and you know someone else who would benefit from hearing it too, please share this episode with them. I can't tell you how much it would mean to me to support even more ambitious, aspiring entrepreneurs like yourself. So send them a text or a quick email with the link, and let's help even more people build the lives and businesses they've been dreaming about. All right, I'll see you next time. Until then, keep designing your happiness.